I have been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey immensely over the last couple days. I love it. But it got me thinking, how do I rank the Assassin's Creed games? There's a lot now, a lot of them. Ubisoft does not stop. It's their big cash cow. So how do I rank them? What do I think is the best? What do I think is the worst? That's what I seek to do in this video. Before we do that, please, as always, to remember to subscribe, click the like button, share this with all your friends, family, click the bell icon to stay notified on when I upload. Comment down below how you rank them, and also any topics for Tuesday Talks, because you see I'm running on fumes here now. But without further ado, let's get into ranking the Assassin's Creed games. Now, before I get started, just know I love Assassin's Creed. I think it's so much fun to be able to explore all these different time periods, and it's just fun, dumb fun. So I like all these games. I enjoyed them all. Now, there are some that I liked a lot better than others. Let's start off with the worst. The one I like the least is Assassin's Creed Revelations. It was great seeing an end to Ezio's storyline and bringing back Altair from the first one. It was great. I enjoyed that portion, seeing an old man Ezio, and it was a jolly good time. But it felt weak. Okay, it didn't do much to set itself apart. There was the hook blade, but other than that, it just felt like a dull entry. I mean, I loved the story, but the rest of it was just meh. Right? I would have liked to see a lot better care taken to the game world and everything, and it would have been a better game. Again, it was fun. I enjoyed the story, but it was just meh. Following that is Assassin's Creed Unity. Assassin's Creed Unity, when it launched, it was plagued with problems. That's no secret. There was problems everywhere. So many bugs, the whole face disappearing bug. It was a train wreck. But the game world still looks amazing. They captured revolutionary France amazingly, and you can enter so many buildings. The character models are great. The customization is great, but I still haven't finished it. I got it for $1. I mean, it's Assassin's Creed, but you can tell it was rushed. It still looks great, but there's some features that, it's not as great as it could have been. It had the chance. The first next-gen, fully next-gen Assassin's Creed game, because Black Flag came out on next-gen too, it had so much potential riding on it. But also when this came out, we were sort of getting the formula was getting more stale. Okay, we were getting used to the Assassin's Creed formula, and we wanted something to mix it up. And Unity was not it. Following that was a game that sort of mixed it up a little bit, but again, it just felt like 4.5, and that is Assassin's Creed Rogue. Assassin's Creed Rogue set you as a Templar going around killing assassins, and it was a nice new look at the storyline. But again, it just felt like 4.5. There wasn't anything new, like amazingly new. You still sailed around the ocean. There was a little bit new areas to look at, but no. Okay, it was, I think it came out for last gen around Black Flag's launch for the next gen. So, it was their answer to that, to keep last gen out of it, and you can tell. And, it could have been better. I'm hoping we see more from the Templar side. That's just my opinion. I want to see more. Okay, the Assassins have had their due. It's time for Templar's Creed. Following that is the original, the one that started it all, Assassin's Creed. This one holds a little bit of special place in my heart because it's the first, many people jumped on the series in like the middle. I played this one first, and I was young when I played it. I was a kid. My sister bought it. She loved it. She introduced it to me, and I loved it. It brought me to this world, to this time period that I hadn't been able to explore in any games, and it was awesome. I mean, the stealth mechanics, they needed some work. Okay, this game needed some work, but it was the first one. Altair was great. It was so weird and interesting, and it encapsulated me and made me love the Assassin's Creed series. I still need to pick this one up for Xbox. I have it on PC, at least I did, but it was through the Best Buy app, and that doesn't exist anymore. Following that is Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Now, Assassin's Creed Syndicate was the last truly stale one. It was the last one that used the original Assassin's Creed formula before the humongous shift that was Origins. And it's a fun game. It trades a lot of like sword weapon stabbing for hand-to-hand combat. There's canes, you can hit people. It was also, I think, the first one that let you choose between being a male or female. Evie or what's his face? The Fry twins, You got to choose, and I mean, they each were pretty distinct, unlike Odysseys, where they're exactly the same. Syndicates, each person had their own special abilities and their own powers, and yeah. And England looks great. It's very engrossing. It looks great, but again, this was the last one that used the formula, so by this point, everyone was just done. Yearly Assassin's Creeds weren't working. We wanted to get out, so that's why it's lower. If it had come out with some breaks, it probably would have been higher because I enjoyed it. But following that is Assassin's Creed 3. Now, Assassin's Creed 3, it gets a lot of hate from people. I don't understand why. It was the first and currently really only one set in the U.S., the revolutionary U.S., and that was interesting. It was awesome. I loved running through the battles, fighting the British. It was so much fun. Seeing America before it became the U.S. And the assassin, Connor, he was interesting, okay? He wasn't Altair or Ezio level, but he was interesting. I enjoyed him, and I'm so glad they're remastering this. Yeah, you have to buy the Season Pass for Odyssey, but still, I'm so glad they're remastering this. After that is Assassin's Creed 2. Assassin's Creed 2 introduces to Ezio, and it did an amazing job. It introduces to Italy, and Italy looked fantastic. And, I loved Assassin's Creed 2. It started the Ezio trilogy, and it was a great start. It introduced so many mechanics from the first one. It changed a lot. It improved a lot, but there were still some of the problems, like with the stealth and stuff. But going from Assassin's Creed to Assassin's Creed 2, there was huge work put in to make it a true sequel, unlike some of these. Following that was the revitalization, the change of the formula, Assassin's Creed Origins. Now, a lot of people put this closer to the top of their list, but I don't, because I'm not very interested in ancient Egypt. That's part of the reason, but also it was just weird, It wasn't a gradual change. You go from the Assassin's Creed Syndicate to Origins, and it's just different, completely different. And it was weird. It was off-putting for a lot of people, including me. I got used to it, but still, there was a lot changed, and it was weird. But it was a good game. Don't get me wrong, it was a good game. It looked great. Ancient Egypt was great. The whole, what were they called? The like cult system or whatever it was, killing all the different targets. That was fun going through it, and it was fun setting up the actual creed. That was fun. After that is Brotherhood. Brotherhood, the second one in the Ezio trilogy, and it was awesome. You got to recruit assassins, become like a mob boss in Italy, and it was a great continuation from his story. Much better than Revelations, and it was a good improvement from Assassin's Creed 2. Now, it wasn't a huge improvement, but that makes sense seeing as it was the continuation of that story, so they weren't going to change the formula, all that. And I enjoyed it. It was one of the first ones I actually completed on my first playthrough, whereas all the other ones I sort of stopped for a while and then picked it up again and sometimes restarted. Brotherhood was the first one that I played through completely when it came out. And After that, one of my favorites, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. It was the last one to have a number, which I'm wondering if they'll ever bring that back. And, it didn't feel a lot like an Assassin's Creed game, but it did not suffer for that. Sailing on the high seas as a pirate, it's what I've always wanted to do as a kid. I loved pirates. I still love pirates. Pirates of the Caribbean are some of my favorite movies, not because of the plot, because it's kind of dumb now, but just the world. Being able to sail as a pirate was it was awesome. I loved it. I still haven't completed the story because I've just been sailing around. I don't think many people do complete that story because they just sail around and shoot things. The naval combat was awesome. Cannons firing, shrapnel flying everywhere, death, destruction. It was great. Now, you didn't feel as much like an assassin going through it because you weren't. You just weren't an assassin until later when you started sort of having to be. And that's fine, okay? You don't need to rush into being an assassin. You don't need to be an assassin right away like Altair was. And it was great. Now, before we get into my final pick, which, I mean, if you know all the Assassin's Creed games, you know what it is. Please remember, subscribe, put in the comments what your ranking is. Now remember, this is just one man's opinion. You can disagree with me, and that's okay. Go ahead and put it in the comments. Talk about it. And let's get into my top game. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Now, it might just be because it's the freshest in my mind, but also it combines everything I loved from all the games. It's got the naval combat back. It's got the world back. A time period I like. I've always been interested in ancient Greece and the Greek gods, and now I can climb Zeus's dick, so, you win. And, yeah, it's perfect. And you get to choose between a male and female character, and I chose Cassandra because she's just better voice acted, and apparently she's the canon person. And they seem to be expanding again on the present day. A lot of people don't like the present day story. I liked it in the first Assassin's Creed games with Desmond, that was his name. I enjoyed it. I thought his end in Assassin's Creed 3 was great, and I'm so sad they dropped that plot. Yeah, it pulled you out of the historical area, but it also added some more emphasis to it. But it looks like they're bringing it back with more emphasis in Odyssey. Yes, there's less of it, but there's actual characters and stuff, and they're hinting at like maybe going to Japan and stuff, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, I love Odyssey. Oh my gosh, I'm nowhere near completing it. Yeah, there's the whole grind that people complain about, but just play the game, right? If you sit down and play it for 8 hours a day, you'll feel the grind. If you sit down though and play it for like 2 hours a day, you'll be fine. You won't feel the grind. But yeah, that's my ranking of the Assassin's Creed games. These are only the main series ones, because if I added Chronicles to it, those would be at the end. Those are bad. And Liberation, I've never played Liberation, but some people say it's good. So I hope you enjoyed. Please remember, as always, to subscribe. Put in the comments what I should talk about, because, see, I'm running on. I need more topics. And with that, share this with your friends, family, dog. Yeah, your dog. And with that, I will see you in the next video.